In a dark time the eye begins to see. I meet my shadow in the deepening shade. I hear my echo in the echoing wood, a lord of nature weeping to a tree. I live between the heron and the wren, beasts of the hill and serpents of the den. What's madness but nobility of soul at odds with circumstance, the day's on fire? I know the purity of pure desire, my shadow pinned against a sweating wall, that place among the rocks, is it a cave or winding path? The edge is what I have, a steady storm of correspondences, a night flowing with birds, a ragged moon, and in broad day the midnight come again. A man goes far to find out what he is, death of the self in a long tearless night, all natural shapes blazing unnatural light. Dark, dark my light, and darker my desire. My soul, like some heat-maddened summer fly, keeps buzzing at the sill. Which I is I? A fallen man, I climb out of my fear. The mind enters itself, and God the mind, and one is one, free in the tearing wind. Nothing would sleep in that cellar, dank as a ditch. Bulbs broke out of boxes, hunting for chinks in the dark. Shoots dangled and drooped, lolling obscenely from mildewed crates. Hung down long yellow evil necks, like tropical snakes. And what a congress of stinks! Roots ripe as old bait, pulpy stems, rank, silo-rich, leaf mold, manure, lime, piled against slippery planks. Nothing would give up life. Even the dirt kept breathing a small breath. When I saw that clumsy crow flap from a wasted tree, a shape in the mind rose up. Over the gulfs of dream flew a tremendous bird, further and further away, into a moonless black, deep in the brain, far back. I dream of journeys repeatedly, of flying like a bat deep into a narrowing tunnel, of driving alone, without luggage, out a long peninsula, the road lined with snow-laden second growth, a fine dry snow tickling the windshield, alternate snow and sleet, no oncoming traffic, and no lights behind in the blurred side mirror, the road changing from glazed tar face to a rubble of stone, ending at last in a hopeless sand rut where the car stalls, churning in a snowdrift, until the headlights darken. At the field's end, in the corner missed by the mower, where the turf drops off into a grass-hidden culvert, haunt of the catbird, nesting place of the field mouse, not too far away from the ever-changing flour dump, among the tin cans, tires, rusted pipes, broken machinery, one learned of the eternal, and in the shrunken face of a dead rat, eaten by rain and the ground beetles, I found it lying among the rubble of an old coal bin, and the tom-cat, caught near the pheasant run, its entrails strewn over the half-grown flowers, blasted to death by the night watchman. I suffered for birds, for young rabbits caught in the mower. My grief was not excessive, for to come upon warblers in early May was to forget time and death, how they filled the oriole's elm, a twittering, restless cloud, all one morning. And I watched and watched till my eyes blurred from the bird shapes, Cape May, Blackburnian, cerulean, moving elusive as fish, fearless, hanging, bunched like young fruit bending the end branches, still for a moment, then pitching away in half-flight, lighter than finches, while the wrens, bickered and sang in the half-green hedgerows, and the flicker drummed from the dead tree in the chicken-yard. Or to lie naked in sand in the silted shallows of the slow river, fingering a shell, thinking, once I was something like this, mindless, or perhaps with another mind, less peculiar, or to sink down to the hips in a mossy quagmire, or with skinny knees to sit astride a wet log, believing, I'll return again as a snake or a raucous bird, or, with luck, as a lion. I learned not to fear infinity, the far field, the windy cliffs of forever, the dying of time and the white light of tomorrow, the wheel turning away from itself, the sprawl of the wave, the oncoming water. The river turns on itself. The tree retreats into its own shadow. I feel a weightless change, a moving forward, as of water quickening before a narrowing channel, when banks converge, and the wide river whitens, or when two rivers combine, the blue glacial torrent and the yellowish green from the mountainy upland, at first a swift rippling between rocks, then a long running over flat stones, before descending to the alluvial plain, to the clay banks and the wild grapes hanging from the elm trees, the slightly trembling water, dropping a fine yellow silt where the sun stays, and the crabs bask near the edge, the weedy edge, alive with small snakes and bloodsuckers. I have come to a still but not a deep center, a point outside the glittering current. My eyes stare at the bottom of a river, at the irregular stones, iridescent sand grains. My mind moves in more than one place, in a country half land, half water. I am renewed by death, thought of my death, the dry scent of a dying garden in September, the wind fanning the ash of a low fire. What I love is near at hand, always in earth and air. The lost self changes, turning toward the sea, a sea shape turning around, an old man with his feet before the fire, in robes of green, in garments of dew. A man faced with his own immensity, wakes all the waves, all their loose wandering fire, the murmur of the absolute, the why of being born fails on his naked ears. His spirit moves like monumental wind, that gentles on a sunny blue plateau. He is the end of things, the final man. All finite things reveal infinitude, the mountain with its singular bright shade, like the blue shine on freshly frozen snow, the afterlight upon ice-burdened pines, odor of basswood on a mountain slope, a scent beloved of bees, silence of water above a sunken tree, the pure serene of memory in one man, a ripple widening from a single stone, winding around the waters of the world. Under the concrete benches, hacking at black hairy roots, those lewd monkey tails hanging from drain holes, digging into the soft rubble underneath, webs and weeds, grubs and snails and sharp sticks, or yanking tough fern shapes, coiled green and thick like dripping smilax, tugging all day at perverse life, the indignity of it, with everything blooming above me, lilies, pale pink cyclamen, roses, whole fields lovely and inviolate, me down in that fetter of weeds, crawling on all fours, alive in a slippery grave.